Welcome back, everybody, to a bag of tricks. Yeah, I think we're on episode 3 right now. Today, we're going to talk about the new leaderboards obviously coming in, and then any other, like, you know, gubbins that comes to our head, anything that we want to talk about. How's New World been for you, Trick, since leaderboards arrived in? You've been enjoying them, not enjoying them? Any takes, yay or nay?
Dude, okay, so the two thing is, I'm enjoying them in a way.
Yeah.
The one thing though, so I jumped into arenas the first day.
Oh man.
And I had like a insane KDA, like kill, death, assist, right? And now I don't want to play arena because I don't want to ruin it. And it's been like 3 days I haven't played arena. It's like, I know, dude.
Just lock that
if you
spot
play
in.
solo, if you play solo, the enemy team is gonna have some healers over there. And now dying in arena means so much more because my name is there, and if I start losing, my name is gonna drop. So I haven't done arenas.
Yeah.
And OPR has been one hell of a blast though.
Yeah, you've been enjoying it? Like I've seen people on like Reddit and the forums and stuff saying like Outpost Rush is like worse now because like people are tryharding even more, and I don't know, like I think that's like kind of like a good thing though, because you don't want people just like goofing around and then like not even trying to win.
Dude, I have never felt so much competition farming for resources in OPI.
Yeah, dude, I tuned into your stream the other day and you were like running around and there was a guy following you and you're like, no, dude, I need these resources. Stop it. And he was like, I'm helping you. And you're like, no, you're not. I need it.
I need it for the points.
Yeah.
It's all about the leaderboard.
Resources contributed and NPC kills is the most important category in
100%.
Yeah.
No, but even the fights, man, if you go like the OPRs, even though sometimes you do get the one-sided matches, they're very rare because everybody right now is playing to win. It really is. Most of the people, I wouldn't say everybody, you still have like 5 people that are doing whatever. Dude, I got 6 brutes in one game. Can you believe that?
That's a lot of Azoth Essence. Holy flip, man. That's pretty nuts.
6 brutes in one game? Dude, it's amazing.
I mean, yeah, this is what I kind of have been feeling about like leaderboards, because I know maybe this is like not going to be like the most popular take, but for me, from like a streaming or content standpoint, it's like, all right, I'm going to log in and I'm just going to do this thing, you know, I'm going to focus on this number on the leaderboard, which is something we didn't have before. So it kind of gives you like a little bit of a goal or something to work towards, because I know even for you, like you've done all the quests on the map, you've like, you know, you've got all your crafting maxed out, right? You've got like almost everything done, so it's like, you know, you need to stop finding like your own fun to play the game, but at least like leaderboards give you like that kind of thing to work towards, right?
Right, and especially now that you can track it, so you can actually see what you have done, because I've been PvPing in OPR, well, since they came out over a year ago. So doing the PvP part, nothing changes there. You're just going there, you fight people. But now I actually want to do the PvE thing. I'm having so much fun because at least it can be reflected, you know. And hey, look, if somebody wants to throw down, it's like, look at my PvE kills, bro. Like, look how many NPC kills. Like, I'm better than you at a PvP. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you tried doing any PvE? I mean, obviously you're doing the PvE in PvP, but have you tried like doing a mutated expedition or anything like that? You gone for any of those runs?
Yes, I went to do Lazarus last night as a fire staff blunderbuss, full fire damage on a fire damage mutation. Dude, it was painful. Do you know how much my
oh man,
my burns were doing 44 damage a tick.
Yeah.
I'm number 19 on my server for Lazarus right now.
Dude, I know they said that change was like coming in. Like they said they were going to be making it so that with the mutations, the fire damage reduction and the ice damage, like they're going to take that out. But I feel like,
right,
could they just bring that forward? I know they've got like a lot of other weapon balance and a lot of stuff that they need to tweak, but could we just take that bit and like bring it out now? Because it feels like it's just so dumb to punish like Ice Gauntlet and Fire Staff. Like, oh, sorry, dude, fire mutation, your Fire Staff's just completely garbage. And then, like right now, if you're doing fire or ice, like you can't do Barnacles because it's ice, and you can't do Lazarus because it's fire. So it's pretty rough.
It is pretty rough. And I said this a while back. You know, I was like, I'm okay with you guys having, you know, like the elements change. And by the way, the elements haven't been changing. We have had fire Lazarus in the past like 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, since SS came out, Lazarus has been fire every single week. It got into like a pattern that now it's no longer random. You know what element the next mutation is going to be. And it's kind of rough because me as a fire user, right? Lazarus is the easiest mutation in the entire game. and they were like, you're not allowed to do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm okay with the mutations having different elements. That's perfectly fine. What I'm not okay with, is stopping the damage that some other people do. Because, for example, if you're a hatchet player, it literally doesn't matter what element it's on that week, because you're gonna go in there with a hatchet, and you're just gonna smack the enemy. And if it is ancient, you will put a lightning gem. If it is, even if it is Genesis and it's fire Genesis, you don't care about it because you don't put a fire gem on your hatchet and you go and you do full damage. But as a mage, if it is void, ice, or fire, you're literally being blocked from doing that mutation. And I was like, look, keep the elements. That way people do buy gems and change the gems on their gear, but don't stop people from doing damage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
We should clarify, by the way, just in case anybody, I know some people just like listen or watch the podcast like casually, and some people are just tuning in to see like what's going on in New World. So leaderboards is the latest feature they added into the game. So if you go like M for map or something like that, you can go over to the game mode section just to the left of company, and then you have Outpost Rush, 3v3 Arena, and you have leaderboards. And the leaderboards have a bunch of different categories. So mutated expeditions, faction war, PvE, PvP, and trade skills. Some of them give rewards, so you can get a very ugly skin, which I don't know if we've talked about that yet, but there is an ugly skin up for grabs, and there's also a title. Some of them don't give any rewards, though, and people have been saying 3v3 Arena doesn't give any rewards. That's, what do you feel about that, Trick? As, like, you've been doing some Arena. Do you think, like, why would they not put rewards behind 3v3 Arena? It seems kind of strange to me. Like, why not get a 3v3 skin? Because it feels like that is, Outpost Rush, there's a skill argument there, like, you can only be like a certain percentage of your team, but like there is like quite a bit of skill involved in Arena, in my opinion. So the fact that they don't give you a skin or a title, we need to fix that.
100%. I think that Arenas, if there's a PvP mode that will take AGS to the whole new level, is going to be Arenas. It's never going to be OPR. OPR will never be competitive enough to take New World to anywhere.
Yeah.
Wars, obviously, they don't happen often enough. And again, it's not. It's
only like 5% of the player base to get to take part in them as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, nobody wants to see a competitive 50 versus 50 where it's just utter chaos, because you cannot appreciate individual skills. Now, if you take it down to a scale of 3v3s, 2v2s, or even 1v1s, now we can actually put effort into it and make it a ranked system.
Yeah.
So why haven't they added the ugly skins to the arenas?
Yeah.
The only thing that comes into my mind is probably they're working on a ranked system for arenas that will have its own reward system. And the leaderboard will give you a reward for everything else, but the rank system will have its own skin and its own title, and it probably doesn't make sense to have a skin and a title from the leaderboard and a skin and a title from the rank system. But that is just being very, very hopeful. All right, like we don't know how soon that will come. They haven't even said anything about ranks, but yes, arenas is the way to go, because there you can actually have a team.
Yeah.
I just don't see anywhere else having a ranked competitive PvP system that is just small scale. Like
I mean,
33s.
I don't know if you got a chance to see, like during TwitchCon, they did try and do like a tournament, and they did choose 3v3 Arena. It was a bit of a mess because they had so much issue getting the games going. But it does, like, honestly, if you're gonna do esports, you're gonna do like anything for like New World like that, like 3v3 is probably the best place to do it. Because yeah, like you say, 50 versus 50. I know there's a lot of people who like shoutcast wars and stuff like that, like Willie and stuff. But man, it's respect to them for trying to do to it. But there is so much going on. It's really hard to like see, and you just have to follow one person's perspective as well. So it's much easier to see the play-by-play, and right. Like the when we like the tournaments that you organize, like what's the most you do? It's like 3v3, right? You do 1v1s, 2v2s, or 3v3s. You don't typically have you ever tried to do a 5v5 tournament or anything like that yet?
I don't enjoy 5v5 because 5v5 sometimes it doesn't show a lot of individual skills. Because 5v5 sometimes you might kill somebody by accident just because pure AoE, right? Yeah. In 3v3 it's a little harder for you to do that because obviously you have less damage, only 2 people doing damage, or potentially 3 people. But if we come to like a competitive point of view, there's always going to be a healer in the team. And you're going to also have a healer in your team, right? And it's a lot less chaos and more actual skill involved in this. How do you feel about 1v1s?
Yeah, I like I like 1v1s. I do think there is like the way that the game is maybe balanced some to some extent is like rock paper scissors. So in like 1v1 there's always going to be like one build that kind of like outshines the other, although maybe that's not true, because you know we saw like when I watched your 1v1 tournament with there was like at some point somebody was using a bow and an ice gauntlet. It was like all kinds of weird, but it was still like kind of working. So
Right.
I do think though that in a 1v1 meta, like the amount of like viable weapons sort of shrinks down quite a bit. Although I think it's the same. Maybe it's the same across the board for PvP. Like the builds that you're seeing people bring in 1v1 are probably not too different. Although didn't you say like at some point heavy armor, sword and shield or something like that is you like sometimes banning it, right? Which is interesting because you don't see that in much other forms of PvP. So what is going on there that makes it like so obnoxious?
So
that
the problem with the heavy sword and shield and Warhammer is that in small scale PvP, like in large scale PvP, if you see a sword and shield Warhammer in the open world and you see that you do no damage to them, you obviously would just run the other direction, right? And they will sit there useless, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But whenever you are in a 1v1 scenario that you are literally forced to fight this thing, is when it becomes a problem, because he has too much damage, he has too much CC, and too much survivability, right? And since you are forced to fight this freaking raid boss, it's when you messed up. Because again, if you don't do anything, the Ring of Fire will come out in arenas, right? In the tournament, it's a different story. And they love that. They love the Ring of Fire to come out because they're holding block the whole time, because healing gets reduced, but the damage that you get doesn't get increased or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you still do the same damage to them. And so usually how it goes is they block the whole time and they're waiting to hit you with a shield rush, shield bash. If they hit you with a shield rush, then they follow it with a shield bash. And we know that CCs, they do like at least 1,000 to 1,500 damage, right?
Yeah.
So you get hit by shield rush, which is like 1,000, and you get hit by shield bash, which is an extra 1,000, and then you get hit by wrecking ball, which is like 1,500, and then you get hit by shockwave, which is like 2,000, and it applies a rain, and then you get hit by a cleared out, which is like another 2,000, and then in the floor you get hit by a basic attack, and you lose almost every single time. If you're like a light player, you will lose anywhere from 85 to 95% of your health in that one combo, that not even 5 freedoms can help you from that, because all of those CC change happen too quick that 5 freedom doesn't even help you out. And then whenever you get up and you try to run away, well, guess what? They had the leap and they had the sword and shield left click, and your character cannot even roll away because of the slow. And if you try to do damage to them, well, they just either going to do the Defiant Stance, which reduce all the damage they take, and block until they get the cooldowns back. And they also, when they block and they get the cooldowns back. So the entire arena fight is on their favor. They literally only lose health if they make mistakes.
I think what for me, what I'm seeing is like the easiest solution. Like if Amazon, like let's say when they get cross-server Outpost Rush and stuff going, and we have cross-server 3v3, because I think one of the problems right now, I see people in either chat saying they should add a 1v1, they should add a capture the flag game mode, they should add a 5v5. Sadly, we just don't have enough players on most servers to be able to populate all those different queues at the same time. You know, like getting people to queue for like Lazarus and Barnacles and 3v3 and Outpost Rush, like it's just, you're going to spread your players too thin. So we would have to have like a rotating game mode where it was only 1v1 that was available for a few days and then it rotated to 3v3. But yeah, going back to the 1v1, I don't know, I took myself away there. But with the 1v1 thing, this was like a problem in like really old school World of Warcraft, to my understanding, where rogues would basically like perma CC you and they could kill you with like a level 2 dagger because they would just stun, and you would constantly. So what they did is they added diminishing returns, where if you get hit by one form of CC, the next one is lesser and lesser until like it basically does nothing at all. And to my understanding, that is supposed to be in New World, but I think it's really badly implemented, because if you have even like a 0.2 of a second gap between the CCs, then it completely just, you know, if there is like even a slight frame, if they don't perfectly execute the CC, then the diminishing returns just go away completely. So I think Amazon, if we are going to go down the competitive route, they probably need to look at diminishing returns in New World as well, because it does suck when you just like die in a stun over and over again, and I'm screaming like mashing the potion button and I can't because I'm getting CC'd and it's constantly like interrupting me.
Yeah. 100%. So the way that WoW implemented diminishing return is they put some CCs in some families, right? Like you have
Yeah.
polymorph, you had sap in the same family, right? So you cannot do sap, 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 and then 3 polymorph. You know, for example, in New World, instead of having it per family, they have it per type of CC. So stuns, all of the stuns are in the same category. All of the knockdowns are in the same categories, etc. Right? Except for staggering. Staggering, it's nowhere. You can get stagger 200 times back to back, and it will still go. It will still go. It will still go. So how the diminishing return works in New World is if you get hit by a stun, and then you get hit by another stun, the second stun will wake you up, won't stun you.
Yeah.
So. But if you get hit by a stun and then a flattening, you can get hit by another stun and you get the full duration because it got, you know, canceled by the flattening. But a lot of weapons don't have 2 of the same type of CC. Like if we see the spear, right? It has the stun, it has the knockback, and it has the flattening, which are not in the same. And then you see the Warhammer, it has a knockback, it has a stun, and it has a flattening. So one weapon can do 3 CCs on you, and you cannot even move. And if any other moment another weapon comes in and does another CC, you can be literally CC from 100 to 0 without being able to do absolutely anything because the diminishing return system that they have, it's too individual to CCs. And also, freedom only works for some CCs, like slow, roots, and stuns. But in my opinion, the worst CC in the entire game is flying.
Yeah,
by a long shot.
Is that different from knockdown? Like, so is that like leg sweep and wrecking ball, or is that a different category?
Right. Right. No, flattening it's leg sweep and wrecking ball. Those are the 2 flattens that we have. We don't have knockdown. We have flattenings and knockbacks.
Yeah. Okay.
Knockbacks is like the cleared out, the blast shot, right? Those are the knockbacks.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this type of CC, flattening or knockbacks, they don't get affected by freedom at all. So whenever you get flattened, you can have 7 people hitting you, ping, pop, 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 in the floor while you're getting up and you die. Yeah. And that's why the majority of the people die to a flatten instead of a stun, because you get hit by a stun, you get woken up immediately. I don't care about freedom affecting stun that much, but the flattening and the knockback should also be affected by freedom.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. That sounds like it should be, really, because freedom should just be like all forms of CC, really.
Exactly, because right now freedom, people use freedom, but people use freedom just for the slow and I got hit by a collateral shockwave, I get out of that sooner, you know. Yeah. But if somebody's doing a combo on you, except for spear, a spear stun, it's ridiculously short. So with 3 freedom, you get hit and you're like, whoop, you're out of there.
That's why I've always got my handy stone farm rune as well. But
that was very good. Very good.
So bringing it back around to the leaderboards and what we've seen so far, I think like we were just I was talking about this on the stream earlier, and we were laughing about it, but it's also kind of like BS at the same time. How your runs, at least in expeditions, you can hold all top 5 spots for clear time. Which I don't know what the solution is to this, but you could have the same group and go in and do a run and get like a 24 minute and then get 24 in 1 second, 24 2 seconds, 24 3 seconds, 24 and you would hold all top 5 spots and bully everybody else out of it. I think that's something that Amazon probably needs to address, because I don't know, they should just take like your fastest time or something, and if you're detected in the leaderboard, just get rid of your other runs and take the fastest time or something, because that seems pretty BM that could happen from a PvE standpoint.
Or make it that you know, like if you have a group of 3 or more, you know, like that group gets, because let's say that you're a healer, for example, right, and you did it with a couple of friends in the morning and you got 5th place, and then you did with a couple of friends, better friends, in the afternoon and you got 1st place, you know, but it's like 4 people and you, and then 4 other people and you, completely different people. So maybe make it like it counts towards, you know, the group effort once you have like 3 or more in your group. It's weird though, because how do you do it? Definitely the same group.
If it's the same group, but actually when I'm looking at it, like I'm looking at these guys, it's like they've changed, I think they've changed 1 party member, so it's like 4, but then 1 person's different, and then they have like the same run here, so unfixable. I think
it's
it's true. I don't know, because it's based on group, isn't it? Yeah. It's tricky. I don't know though. I feel like something needs to be done there potentially. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
Have you heard? The solution is we must report the people on top.
God, yeah, I've heard of. Is this what you were gonna talk about?
Dude, how crazy is this?
Yeah, this is
Mass
like
report.
there's been people talking about it in chat over the past like 2 days. I think it's pretty ridiculous. I don't know. Amazon's gonna address this because I've heard like so many. It feels like there's almost too much smoke for there to not be a fire. You know, like I've heard so many cases of like even like you're going out and you're gathering some orichalcum and somebody's like, hey, you need to leave this spot right now, Trick, or I'm going to report you because this is our spot. And you're like, what do you mean? It's a massive multiplayer online. Like, you're surprised that you're playing a game with other people? Like, but yeah, they legitimately, like, they report you, and seemingly it works. People are actually getting banned because they're getting mass reported. But Amazon continues to hold the stance like, no, we manually review. There's no auto system. But how can that be the case? Because it seems to be consistently happening so often.
Definitely automated system. And if they do have manually inspecting this, then they need to check those people. They need to mass report the people that are manually checking this, right?
Yeah.
Because it is getting out of hand that some companies are literally threatening people to do this, or otherwise we're going to mass report you. And at this point, I honestly think that the people that are mass reporting should be banned.
Yeah,
I think that is an actual offense.
If you're found to be like abusing it or whatever, like if somebody was reported, you like look who sent the reports in, and if no issue is found, then if that happened, like maybe one time, like because I've accidentally reported somebody in the past. Like there was this guy, he was typing in global chat, and for some reason he had the mod tag next to his name. Like I can't make this up, but this guy somehow accidentally logged into his account, and he was labeled as a moderator. You know when you go in the PTR and the mods, like they have that mod tag next to the name, and they got a golden chat box. This guy was labeled as a moderator somehow, and he was just promoting his Twitch channel in the global chat of the game. I'm like, all right, this guy's clearly hacked the game, so I reported him. It turned out somehow his account had just been labeled as a mod. He was completely innocent, and they revoked the ban on his account. And I felt really bad because I reported this guy, even though it was not his intention, although he could have probably not promoted his Twitch chat in the global channel. But yeah, like in that case, if people mass report that person and it turns out that it was not, like, it was warranted, but it wasn't warranted. But yeah, if people are like repeatedly like mass reporting people and getting them banned, the other thing that's kind of scary as well, from what I hear, is like it is such a pain in the ass, allegedly, to then get yourself unbanned. You have to like go through like the 7 trials of customer service, and you've got to climb a mountain and then send a pigeon out, and the pigeon might come back and maybe you'll like whisper something in another language and then they'll translate it, and then you might get unbanned maybe after 7 days. Like it's such a apparently I don't know, I haven't been here, so again, I just want to say I don't know this for certain, but I've seen it so many times on Reddit. People say like I had to try so hard to actually talk to somebody about getting my account unbanned, and then when somebody actually manually reviewed it who knew what they were talking about, they were found it was like completely unwarranted. So yeah,
we need to escalate it.
It's problematic.
We need to escalate it.
Yeah, I almost feel like
crazy.
Yeah, it's
go ahead. You almost feel like.
No, I was gonna say, like, I almost feel like one of us needs to like go out and like find this this mafia in game and get ourselves banned by them. We need to like do something that upsets them. We gotta get ourselves onto the top of the leaderboard somewhere, so they try and take us down, and then we can just show like from a first-hand perspective how BS it is.
Do you think we'll get banned if we get mass reported?
I mean, if it seems to be working on everybody else. I saw there was a streamer on Barry who was called JJ, and his guilty thing was that he was chopping trees in an area that some other company wanted to chop trees, so they just reported him, and it worked. He got unbanned, but yeah, I don't know. That would be like the proof in the pudding, right? If they do like if we get banned, then yeah.
Yeah.
I had friends banned on New World for playing another game because of the game software. That is yeah. So New World uses anti-cheat or something, and you can't do 2 games that both have anti-cheat or something like that. But that's different from this. Yeah, I think the whole like what this all comes down to is Amazon maintaining the stance that they manually review bans.
It's cap.
But
yeah, that's cap.
That doesn't seem to be the case at all. It seems to be automated. Because why would there be so many cases where these people are getting banned when they literally aren't guilty of anything at all, other than getting to the top of a leaderboard? Yeah.
We can mass report you right now, B. Do you want us to mass report you?
No, no, no. I don't.
Oh,
No,
oh.
no. I don't want to. I don't even take the gamble. No, like I say.
I mean, you will
like,
be off tomorrow, no?
There was a there was a guy the other day, but he wasn't. He was just threatening to send his goons. You know.
His mafia.
Yeah, I was in Requater mining Orichalcum, and this guy said, "You better get out of here soon because I'm calling people." I'm like, "What the heck, dude? It's gonna like break my kneecaps." Yeah.
So, I saw you playing Blunderbuss Firestaff, huh?
Yeah, dude, I've been enjoying it. It's good fun, man. You go up and you click a lot of buttons, and sometimes I don't know. It feels like it's got a lot of like outplay potential if you do things at the right time. You know, I actually feel like a greatsword runs at me, and I don't need to like immediately like pee myself and then cry. I can actually, dude, the most satisfying thing is when they like just dodge roll 3 times and burn all their stamina because they're a bad player, but they're just used to the greatsword just carrying them anyway. And then they do the relentless rush, and then you do the net shot, and they don't have any stamina anymore. And I'm like, yeah, F you, dude. Like, because they just don't bother managing their stamina at all because they got greatsword. They just, like, oh, well, I'll just do like, I'll do the stab and jab, which pulls me in, and I'll do my heavy attack, which pulls me in, and I'll do my spin, which pulls me in. But yeah, you can actually drain their stamina and then put some distance, and they stop panicking quite a bit. It feels good. Feels good,
right?
Man.
I didn't realize that the best way to counter Greatsword is just let them use all their abilities. Just wait. Just wait around them. They'll go crazy. They spam all 3 of their abilities, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah." Then they're gonna like report you for not being dead. Like they're gonna go to Reddit and be like, "I used all 3 greatsword abilities, and he didn't die. What is going on?" Yeah.
Yeah. There was a forum post saying like, I have 5 resilient and 5 shuriken fortification, and the blunderbuss did insane damage to me. And then you see the clip, and then you see that he didn't dodge any of the attacks. And also blunderbuss doesn't crit, right? So blunderbuss doesn't need to crit to do a lot of damage, and the guy has 0 fire protection. So he was like, how is it possible with 5 resilient and 5 shuriken fortification? Blunderbuss is too busted. It needs to be nerfed. And I was like, all right, resilient does absolutely nothing against blunderbuss. You didn't dodge any of the abilities, so shuriken fortification is not into effect, and you have 0 fire protection. Therefore, you're just getting hit by full damage with 0 protection. Of course it's going to hurt. And it was like, just put on some fire gems. And he was like, nope, I don't want to put fire gems just to counter one individual build. And I was like,
one thing I will say about blunderbuss is I do think the net shot perk is like on like the very edge of like being like super OP. It's like 8 seconds of 55% stamina regen, like nerf. Like I don't think anything else in the game. First of all, is there even any other weapon that can like hinder your stamina regen? I think it's exclusively limited to blunderbuss, right? I don't think anything else can stop how quickly you regenerate stamina.
Right, no, it's just the bio bomb and the blunderbuss with the net shot. But we need it though. We actually need this, because without this, a lot of people would just literally run away. Like you cannot catch an archer if they don't want to. You cannot catch a musketeer if they don't want to. As a matter of fact, it's very hard to catch people if they have like a hatchet, sword and shield, great sword, any weapon that has some sort of mobility, and they can just and let's not even talk about rapier, right? The hammer also has stamina.
Hammer
right.
and hatchet. Apparently, people are saying infected throat. Does that do stamina regen? Oh, you get a perk for it. Okay, yeah.
So literally the one big issue that we've been having a lot in this game is like mobility. Like the classes, you cannot just catch them. If they want to run away, they're gone. And the net shot it's the one tool that effectively can stop people from running away. Yeah. And it can be removed in many sorts of ways. You have the regen potion perk that removes debuffs from you.
It's true.
Right? Berserks removed it in what else? Sure. Whenever you dodge an ability, removes the debuffs from you. You don't have to dodge, right? You could use your charge. You could use your burnout. You could use your flesh away. You can just run, because you get the slow and you get the stamina problem, right? The slow, if you have freedom, is reduced greatly. If you have 3 freedom, the slow, instead of being 7 seconds, immediately drops down to like 4 seconds, right? And so yeah. And then the other thing, you can drink a potion. Like there's ways to counter it. Yeah. I'm not saying that, right? There are ways to counter this issue. but we need that CC in one of these weapons to catch these people.
Yeah, it's true. Blunderbuss like doesn't really do anything unless people are close to you, I guess. So you got to get close for it.
Right. You cannot do damage from far. So if there's an enemy that keeps running away from you, the blunderbuss is just a useless weapon, because the splitting grenade, you see that coming from a mile away, right? So without the net shot, you will never be able to close in on a ranged target just to be able to do your damage.
Well, you could mortar charge them from a distance though, Trick. You know, some pretty big.
Dude, I tried. So
I want mortar
honestly,
charge to be good so much, man. I was excited when I first saw that. I wanted to have like go into war and have like a full team, like have like a 10-man mortar charge team and just bomb the point. But it just I don't know why, but it's so underwhelming for some reason.
It is an extreme. So there's a couple of problems with the mortar charge. One thing, it zooms in your camera in, so you cannot see anybody coming from behind you, right? It takes away that third-person view.
Yeah.
The second thing, you move so slow. And then if it wasn't enough, whenever you're done shooting, you need to reload the gun, so you are like slowed down.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes close to you and you cancel it, you have 0 bullets, so you cannot even fight back. You have to swap to the other weapon. And the damage, it's not really there. For you to do damage with that thing, you need to go like above 350, 400 of the damage perk, like strength and intelligence, to be able to do damage with it. And it's just a meme ability, honestly. At this point, it's just like an execute or like meteor shower.
Yeah, one of the one of those abilities that like nobody uses. Oh, like cyclone on the spear. Dude, there's quite a few like redundant abilities when you think about it. You go through like they almost get used like nowhere. Like in basically no forms of content, like cyclone on the spear. I think all of the rapier abilities do get some use in some cases. Flurry's more PvE, right? Is that what's like?
Yeah, flurry's more.
What is like mighty gavel? You sometimes see that. What is
in PvE? Yeah, you see it.
Yeah, but like you know, like mortar charge is one of those abilities that's like very if somebody's using it, that kind of memeing, right?
Right,
whether
of course.
It's PvE or PvP.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to stat pad from very far back, they can do that, if their play style. But it doesn't feel rewarding to actually use it in a real scenario, Like in 3v3s, if you have mortar charge, you're trolling 100%.
I tell you what though, I'm thinking like I'm looking through all the weapons. Like I very rarely see somebody, every now and again I might see a spear and they do the frickin' spin. I'm like, oh, that's cyclone, because I like never see it. And I do sometimes see people doing like a meteor shower occasionally. On the point. I tell you what, the single ability that I never see though, Trick, I haven't seen it in so long, is the tether from Void. I can't think of the last time I've seen somebody try to hit me with that Spider-Man goo, You never see tether. It's such a meme.
It's just because it's extra. I mean, can you compare tether to scream?
Yeah,
Not even close,
it's true.
Can you compare Tether to Orbital Decay? Not even close. Tether, first of all, is just something that you need to hit the target in front of you. You know how people will start using Tether like crazy? If Tether was like a 15-meter, type of fan in front of you, so if you use it, anybody in front of you goes like, connected by the Tether.
Yeah, if it was more like net shot kind of.
Right, it's something that it connects the people in front of you, and now you're like a puppeteer, and these people are connected to you, and it's like an AoE effect. But Orbital Decay is too easy to hit. Oblivion is too powerful. The Void Blade is even very useful. So I honestly think that AGS, before even creating a new weapon, should get the weapons that we have now and actually make all of them very dynamic and usable. Because the main problem with the Fire Staff is how many useless abilities he has, how many useless passive.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Greysword, and the Greysword has everything that you want in this game in one weapon. Literally, the Greysword is all of the weapons combined into one. Yeah. Why cannot we have more weapons like that? We have weapons to feel powerful, whichever way you want to go.
Yeah, I think every single like ability and even like all the passives on the Greatsword tree, they all have like a decent reason to use them at some point. Like it's pretty,
Both ultimates are useful. You could literally use all 6 ability of the Greatsword and feel good. You cannot do that with a lot of weapons because you're not given the choice, right?
Yeah.
A lot of weapons are so one-dimensional that you can only do one thing. And if you don't do that one thing, you're playing the weapon wrong, and that is bad. Because it doesn't give freedom to players to actually be creative. Like I would love to see people using Cyclone, Incendiary Ray, Meteor Shower. I want to see more than just people using the same abilities over and over again.
So do you think it's bad that like in my opinion, when you use hatchet, like you always use berserk every time. When you use life staff, you always use sacred ground. When you use fire staff, you always use fireball. Do you think that's okay, that there's like one staple ability, or do you think that should be like it should be this situation where, yeah, because like, yeah, who's not using sacred ground and life staff? It's so incredibly rare that that's the case. Do you think that should be like that's, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, you know, like does it need to change like that?
No.
Should there be a situation where
understand.
like there is an actual reason why you wouldn't use berserk on the hatchet?
I don't think so. And I'm okay with some of the weapons having down one ability that is very core to the weapon, because you know, some of your kit revolves around that one ability.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that weapon is defined by that ability. But whenever, you know, the other abilities are also the same thing, and when you have the other three that are completely useless, then, you know, it creates like, oh, if you don't play it that way, it's bad. And I don't have a problem with Fireball being, you know, super good for the Fire Staff. For example, Fireball is not even my main damage, but the problem with the good thing about Fireball is that it's consistent, it's good to use, it's range, it's close range, it has a relatively low cooldown, which is 14-15 seconds. And whenever you have it, you know you're gonna do something with it. You know, whenever you have Incinerate, sometimes you sit with Incinerate there for freaking 30, 41 minutes, and you never use it because it never got to the occasion. And that is not, you know, that is not something that we should have more room to use the abilities with a little bit more freedom, rather than, oh, we're just gonna use this one ability all the time.
Yeah, I'd love it if every weapon was kind of like the greatsword, where like all of the abilities are like pretty useful.
Yes.
And all of the passives are like
100.
You know, it's like actually a choice of what you take. That'd be pretty awesome. Fingers crossed, that's what we're gonna see, dude. I think it's like probably gonna be, I don't know, from what Amazon's saying, maybe like another 2 weeks, and then we're gonna get to see the PTR. It seems like they're saying like end of February for the weapon balance, combat changes. They've been hinting that there's like quite a bit more coming as well. You know, they've been talking that there's gonna be some sort of trailer coming along with it. Marketing is gonna be involved. So yeah, maybe big things on the horizon, Mr. Trick. Anything that you think you're like excited to see, or like hopeful that might be included? Do you think it is just going to be weapon balance, or do you think there's going to be more than that as well? Because I'm kind of feeling like if there's a trailer, there's going to be, you know, there's going to be something extra, like for them to take. I mean, there is there's quite a bit that they need to balance, and you know, if it's more than just balance, hopefully it is like completely reworking some stuff in some cases. But
maybe the trailer is for the spring event.
Yeah,
and maybe they want to be like, oh, look, it's been a while, right? It's been a while since they've done a weapon balancing, so they might be doing a massive rework for a lot of these weapons, right? Like there's a lot of mages that have been complaining about all these useless perks and all the weapons, not just the fire staff. So if they've been taking this whole time to actually rework these weapons and listen to the community, to what we have been saying, then it's super good.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 months, like we said. The last thing that they did was Starstone, and that had nothing to do with weapon balancing. So they could even be working in weapon balancing even before that, right? So now in a couple of weeks from now, 1 to 2 weeks from now, whenever the PTR hits us, because they did say, you know, between 20 and the 30th, hopefully it's like closer to 20th. Whenever the PTR weapon balance comes out, then they should give us a long time for that PTR, at least a month on that PTR, so we can actually test all of these weapon balancings and all of these changes that they have done in the spring event. So we do have a lot of content coming, and at least that keeps me hopeful, because we have the massive weapon rebalance, right? We have the new dungeon that is coming. We have the spring event, and that by itself, it keeps me very hopeful and entertained, you know, at least for a couple of, I will be focused on the leaderboard for like the next week and a half, so I won't have any problem in being bored. And then like whenever the PTR hits, oof, we have so much to, you know, to work with.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Finally gonna, I know you've been saving up. You keep telling me runestone stopwatches, Bagg, and save the runestone stopwatches. You know, you gotta, have you got a stockpile of them? Have you been saving them and stuff?
No, I use them every 5. Every time I get 5, I send 5. Dude, I got 5 purple yesterday, Bagg. Can you believe that, man?
I wonder if it's like a smart move to like go and buy like all the crappy craft mods just in hopes that they're gonna become like way more OP. You know, maybe I should go buy the slowing tether craft mod for Void Gauntlet. Maybe it's gonna be like way better.
imagine Meteor Shower becoming the staple ability of the Fire Staff.
Yeah, and everybody wants
Meteor
it.
Shower. Yeah, dude, imagine if Meteor Shower will become just like Blizzard, that you put it there and you run, and then you play with like Ice Gauntlet, Fire Staff,
Dude,
massive,
yeah.
and you put the video shower and you switch to the Ice Gauntlet, and you put the Blister, you have and Blister right there, and you have a lot of freedom to move around. Those kind of things will be cool.
When I was playing Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet yesterday, I was thinking like, dude, you know, when you when you cast one ability straight after the other, Meteor Shower is kind of just like a really crappy version of Ice Storm, you know, because Ice Storm you put it and then it does DPS, and you keep moving around, it slows them and stuff, and then Meteor Shower is like you gotta stand still and it's it doesn't slow.
There's so many bad things with Meteor Shower. So Meteor Shower is like it's a cast, right? So you have to sit there, you cannot move.
Yeah, get shot by muskets and
consumes
stuff.
mana little by little. But the crazy thing is, you cannot use Meteor Shower if you have less than 20% of your mana. Even though it uses mana little by little, and let's say that you're at 10% mana and you want to use a quick Meteor Shower just for the first hit and consume just 5 mana, the game does This ability consumes 20 mana in a period of 8 seconds. Unless you have this 20 mana, you cannot use this ability. You need to sit there. Wow. You cannot cancel it, and you barely deals damage. It's Bagg with like half of the other perks.
That's pretty.
Dude, it's so bad,
man.
man.
That, man. That's pretty
so
awful.
bad.
Yeah.
And the ultimates. Oh,
yeah.
the ultimates just cringe me off so much.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm sorry. I know it hasn't been the longest podcast here, but I'm gonna be. I gotta disappear, Mr. Trick. I've gotta be out in the real world. Yeah. But hey, hopefully.
Goddamn, being an adult and stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed. What we're gonna see is some stuff for the PTR soon. We get a glimpse behind the curtain of like what Amazon's preparing and stuff, and of course we'll have another podcast to follow with that one. So. Yeah, maybe a week or two from now, next podcast will be happening. If anything else exciting happens in the meantime, or me and Trick just feel like, there's another conversation that we want to have, then we'll have the next episode out. Any closing thoughts on leaderboards or anything else you want to say real quick, Trick, on just New World stuff in general?
New World stuff in general. Listen, I know the PvP community has been talking to you guys a lot about content and stuff. All we want is ranked arenas or maybe a new map. That's it. That's it. You give us that and we'll be happy for another year.
Yeah, and with the excuse of like we can't do another Outpost Rush map because there'll be too much, like people, we won't be able to like populate it. Just make a vote or something, or even just rotate it. 3 days of one, 3 days of the other, or allow people to vote before they go in. I don't know, something like that. That's the solution.
What if it is just random, B?
I mean, would that be? I don't know. Would that be? I guess it depends. If the map sucks, then it wouldn't be very fun. But yeah.
What if it is like instead of like a 20v20, it's a 10v10?
That'd be pretty hype. I'd be down for some like different forms of content.
Like a smaller map in a 10v10. Because if you put 2020 in a smaller map, then it's probably a little too chaos.
It'd be like Rust, like in Call of Duty, the small map, the nuke town. I'd be down for that. That was always everybody loved that.
Yeah,
right,
that would be pretty cool.
It's
man.
Good talking to you as always, Mr. Trick. We'll have to talk again. Hopefully, not too far away till the next changes. As always, for those of you on YouTube or by the way, I didn't say this, Trick, but I want to get these up on like the Apple Podcast and the other places as well. Right now they're just on YouTube, but we are gonna try and get these up on all the other platforms as well, so you can just listen to the audio. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, give us the rates and all that stuff, and Twitch chat. Just keep on being you guys. All right, Mr. Trick.
Yeah.
I'll catch you later, buddy.
See you later, B. Yeah, take care, man. Bye bye.